I want to welcome everyone again to the Application Tips webinar presented by My Employment Options. We are very excited to have each and every one of you here, and we have lots of great tips to share to help you with your applications. Some quick technical tips. For this webinar, your audio and video are turned off to help eliminate distractions. Closed caption is available today. So you can also just listen in, even if you can't pull up the slides. To turn it on, click the Closed Caption CC button on the bottom toolbar, and if you decide later that you would like to turn it off, simply click the same Closed Caption CC button again. On the next slide, we're going to share with you a little bit about My Employment Options. We want to take a moment to help you learn about who we are, and for those of you who may be here for the first time, and explain a little bit more about My Employment Options, or MEO as we call it. My Employment Options is an authorized employment network in the federal Social Security Ticket to Work program. We provide free work at home and community employment services to qualified job seekers who receive SSDI or SSI non-retirement disability benefits who live in one of the 48 contiguous states and Washington, D.C., and who want to try working again. For those of you who are wondering how My Employment Options can help clients with our free services, we have over 20 years of expertise in helping people with disabilities return to work. Each client receives a personal employment counselor, and we also have Teresa Ellinger, our certified benefits specialist, who helps our clients understand the Ticket to Work program. 15 of our staff, including myself and Sandy, today's other presenter, have participated in the Ticket to Work program. We all practice the personal touch. Today's presenters are myself and my esteemed colleague, Sandy Darnell. I'm Tina, and I have the honor and pleasure working with My Employment Options as a community counselor, assisting clients in finding positions in their community. As a person with an autoimmune disease and being neurodivergent, I am passionate about sharing my experience and committed to helping others with disabilities in reaching their employment goals. As a participant of the Ticket to Work program, I can testify firsthand that MEO has made a huge impact in my life and many others. Now Sandy will take a moment and say hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandy Darnell, and I am a job counselor and an outreach specialist, and have been a part of MEO for the past 14 years. I contracted Lyme disease in 1999, which led to my disability. Now, finding MEO and securing a job through the Ticket to Work program, it saved my life, my sanity, and put me back on track.
Thank you, Sandy. On the next slide, you'll find the main points that Sandy and I will be covering today. What Sandy and I will be discussing on today's webinar are the following topics: what a job application is used to determine, job application checklist, how to fill in your work history, appropriate reasons for leaving, references, illegal questions, and how to identify scams. Now Sandy will dive in and get us started.
Your application is the door to your new job. The very first impression that a prospective employer has of you is the application that you share with them. This is one of the many reasons it is extremely important that you have done your homework when you are gathering your information. Your information needs to be complete and accurate. Now, employers' first glimpse at your application, they're going to see that you've made sure you are able to follow instructions, find out how well you are corresponding, testing your ability to complete tasks, gauging your computer skills. They are going to review your work experience. They're going to proofread your application and take the time to correct any spelling errors. I'm sorry, that is what you're supposed to do. And be sure that there are no red flags. Remember, your application gives an employer a lot of information, and you want to make sure you give correct and legitimate responses. Now we're going to touch on application rules. You will need to have access to your resume when completing your application. Either print it out or open it up on the computer. That way you can make sure that you provide all requested information and that it is correct. They will be asking you for the company name, company contact information, your job title, dates of employment, plus your duties and responsibilities. Typical concerns, and we all have had these. Most of us struggle to remember the start and end date for jobs. So in later slides, we are going to share ways to retrieve that information, including how to remember employment dates, also how to handle little or no work experience, address gaps in employment, plus provide examples of appropriate reasons for leaving and discussing references. Now we're going to go over ways to obtain dates of employment. Here are some ways you can get your work history by requesting a detailed earnings statement, and they are all free. You can request a free detailed earnings statement by submitting Form SSA-7050 to the Social Security Administration. If you apply for unemployment benefits, you can request a work history through your local unemployment office. And you can also ask for free transcripts of your tax returns from the IRS, and you would use Form 4506T.
Thank you, Sandy. Here are some more additional tips to help you remember your dates of employment. Ask yourself, for a specific business, how old were you when you started or stopped working there? Was it fall, winter, spring, or summer? Do you have children? Was it before or after they were born? Was it before or after you were married? Where did you live while working? If you're unable to recall your employment history, feel free to contact your previous employer to collect the needed information. If the business is closed, use your best judgment and always fill in at least the month and the year if you do not have the exact date. For those with lack experience and employment gaps, you can use experiences that you've gained from projects and activities that you've participated in within your community, church, school, or organization affiliation. But remember to only use these experiences that correlate to the position you're applying for. If you're not active in your community, you can also add handyman jobs you've completed or responsibilities such as a caretaker or household manager, where you had to keep your household functioning or care for another individual. Next, we're moving on to reasons for leaving a job. Make sure that you are being honest and staying away from negative reasons for leaving a company. You do not want to provide negative reasons for leaving a place of employment. You do want your reasons to be truthful and neutral. Here we provided some examples of negative reasons for leaving a job you should not use on your application. You were fired, lost a job due to an injury, or left for medical reasons. On this slide are some positive examples that can be used as reasons for leaving a company or position and leave a better impression. Being laid off, a career change, a more suitable position, an increase in salary, better benefits, or due to relocation. Sandy is going to be covering references on the next slide.
Great job, Tina, and thank you. Now we're going to venture into references. There are two types of references. First is your professional reference. It's a former employer or coworker. And a personal reference is an individual you associate with outside of the work environment. You want to make sure that you have all of this information at your fingertips. You may need addresses and phone numbers. I personally have created a list that I can print or reference to when I need it. References. It is very common for job hunters to be concerned about what their past employer will say when contacted by their prospective employer. The only things that your last employer are allowed to share by law is the dates of employment and your job title. On your application, you will be asked to enter personal references. The definition of a personal reference is a recommendation provided by someone who knows you personally rather than professionally. This person can attest to your character, qualities, and abilities from a non-work related perspective. Now, some additional people you may be able to ask for a reference are coworkers, a mentor, a teacher, a nurse, or a business person you know. Personal references, it's very important to ask if the person is okay with being your reference. You do not want them to be surprised when they are contacted. If you agree, you need to inform them of the position you're applying for, and inform them that why this is a good position for you. Reminder reference is illegal for employers to ask questions to determine if you have a disability.
Thanks, Sandy. Now to give you some insight on questions that are illegal to ask. Civil rights protection is provided by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, and they can be contacted if you receive discrimination. Hopefully this will not happen to you. However, you may be asked some of the following questions. What is your race, age? Are you married? What is your religious background? Do you have any children? Do you have a back injury? Have you ever been on workman's compensation? Sandy will now address how to identify scams.
Being scammed is a horrible thing, but knowing the red flags can help you avoid scams and protect yourself throughout your job search. You have to realize scammers are companies that do their homework. It is the entire they are created. It's to steal your money, your personal information, such as social security number and bank or PayPal information. One of the hardest things in this job search is to be scammed, and it's embarrassing. And you can easily set yourself back when searching for a job. If this has happened to you, you must see it as a lesson learned and just keep going. If a company reaches out by email, or if you receive a phone call from a company that you've not applied to, always research the company. Check to see if they have a legitimate website and an online presence. Don't rely on contact information provided in the job posting, and look up the company's phone number and address independently. Never hesitate to reach out to former employees on LinkedIn or check the Better Business Bureau for any complaints filed against the organization. It can also be helpful to search the company name plus scam on Google. And if you are part of the employment options, please reach out to your counselor. I knew that word was there. How to identify scams? Ask yourself, does the scam seem too good to be true? Is the communication professional and consistent? Be cautious about sharing personal details during the application process, and always be wary of requests for payment through unconventional methods such as cryptocurrency or gift cards. Scammers often prey on desperation or excitement. I would like to share with you a few experiences some of my clients have had with scammers. Now, Mary was offered a job as a payroll specialist. She'd been searching for a job for a long time. She was so excited. They offered her 25 an hour, and this company just reached out to her. After speaking with them, she was told she would need to send them $100 for a training CD, which she did receive. Then she got a call saying that as an act of good faith, they requested an additional $1,000 that would be returned to her account on the following Friday. Red flags went up for Mary. At that point, she reached out to me for advice on what she should do. I sat in on the next call. When we confronted him, he hung up. She was still out $100. Then I had a client named Karen, and she asked if I had sent her application out to a company on her behalf. I told her I would not do that without her permission. She gave me the name of the recruiter, which happened to be one of our partners. I was able to connect with them, and they said that no such person worked there. Now we're going to go into completing your application. Most companies today use online applications, but handwritten applications can be used also. If you'll see, the first red flag is her name should be listed last. First, she put her first name, last name of Nancy Clayton. Now I have to tell you how many times I have done that because I have not read the instructions. I've been in a hurry. For positions employment desired, she put any. Nancy needs to list the exact position she's applying for. And for the third flag, date she can start, she put next date, next time for doctor's appointment. She needs to be specific. If you know that company is open Monday through Friday, you need a Monday's date for your start date. On this slide, we have corrected the information for the first example. The request is to list the years attended, and Nancy listed 4. For the second example, her reason for leaving is workman's comp injury, which is a negative reason for leaving, and the company will think she is a liability and not move forward with the process. Now, Tina will share with you the third information on applications.
Thanks, Sandy. On this slide, you'll notice the first area highlighted. It asks, can you perform the job with or without a reasonable accommodation? Nancy put, no, can't do any lifting. This is the red flag question. Only apply for positions where you are able to complete all listed job duties and responsibilities. Now let's look at the reference section on the bottom. Give below the names of 3 persons not related to you, whom you've known for at least 1 year. She listed Bob Claxton. Remember, this is Nancy Claxton's application. Bob looks to be a relative. Sandy and I are going to summarize the topics and tips that we've discussed today. Make sure you have all the information on hand and that you'll need to complete your application. Dates of employment, employer contact information, job titles, responsibilities, and references with contact information.
Always be sure to read the instructions carefully.
Complete your application as neatly as possible. Most applications are completed electronically. However, if it is a hard copy, make sure it's legible.
Don't leave blanks. Fill in everything. If something does not apply to you, then put a N/A for non-applicable.
Don't provide any negative information. An example, your reason should be truthful, neutral, not negative.
Always answer questions on the application truthfully.
Ask your reference before listing them on your application and provide them the specifics of the position.
And make sure your resume matches your application information.
Never submit your application without proofreading it first and spell check.
And please remember, employers use your application as a test.
We've also provided a handy checklist to utilize before submitting your job applications.
Read instructions carefully.
Gather necessary information.
Start with contact information.
Provide employment history.
Detail your education.
Include skills and qualifications.
It should answer any additional questions.
Attach supporting documents.
And carefully review all the information you've provided for accuracy and completeness.
Once you've satisfied with the application, submit it according to the employer's preferred method, whether it's through an online portal or in person.
Then after submitting the application, considering following up the employer to express your continued interest in the position and inquire about the status of your application.
We are all eager to hear back from an employer. I know I was. So keep in mind the hiring process can take time. Avoid contacting the employer excessively or expecting an immediate reply. Initially, one follow-up email within 2 to 3 weeks is sufficient.
Always make a copy of the completed application for your records. This can be useful for reference purposes or if you need to fill out similar applications in the future.
This concludes our information on job application tips. And next, we will move on to resources followed by questions from our attendees. So please stay with us. Before we get into the question and answer portion of today's webinar, we want to share our contact information with you also. You can visit our website at myemploymentoptions.com or call us at 1-800-441-3. We have included the following resources that can be found on our website. If you receive SSDI, SSI disability and are not a current client and want to find out if MEO can help you with our free services, you can visit our website at myemploymentoptions.com and click Apply Now to submit your application. If you are a client of MEO and have questions about today's webinar, please reach out to your assigned MEO job counselor. We know that some of you may not be on SSDI or SSI disability or may not qualify for one of our free services to Ticket to Work program. On the next slide, I'm going to share some resources with you to assist you in the job search process. You can also email us for a list of employment resources at help@myemploymentoptions.com. Note, this is an auto reply only email address, so if you ask a question, you will not receive a response. You can also visit our website and click on the fax prompt at the top of our webpage to review our referral resource page. If you have questions after today's webinar, you can email Lori Adler, our communications manager, at ladler@myemploymentoptions.com. Here are resources for those who are not on SSDI or SSI. Ask MEO is our referral resource division. If you are not on SSDI or SSI and have employment challenges or need social service resources, you can schedule a free 15-minute assessment call. Learn more at askmeo.com. MEO Staffing is our general staffing division to help job seekers who are not on SSDI or SSI to find suitable employment. These types of positions primarily recruit for candidates who are seeking full-time employment, have a college degree, no major gaps in their work history, and are resume ready. To learn more or submit our resume, please visit meostaffing.com. We would like to connect with you on our Facebook media. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, previous name Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We share information about free events, hot jobs, industry news, tips, and more. In case you're not aware, our very own work at home and community employment counselor, Verona Jacob-Sams, shares her journey from existing to living, in her own words, through the Ticket to Work program on our monthly blog, which can be found on the MEO website. Congratulations, Verona. Her stories have provided comfort and inspiration to many. We encourage everyone to check out her blog. We have completed the resources section. On the next slide, Sandy and I will go over some of the questions we received from our attendees.
Well, we are now at the portion of the webinar where we answer questions you have asked. The first question was from Jean Ann from Ohio. She asked, how do I avoid ageism? Now, no one can dispute the existence of ageism in the workplace, and although age is only a number, it might influence your job search from time to time. Here are a few tips and tricks that might help you. It could be time to revise your resume before putting it out there for a job search. Your email address should not include anything with your age or birth date. Be sure to focus on skills, not experience, not years of employment. Rather than saying 20 plus years of experience, you should say proven expertise in marketing strategy and campaign execution. Highlight skills over tenure. Always remove mentions of obsolete software, hardware, or outdated technologies.
Thanks, Sandy. Diane from Illinois asks, what is the biggest mistake made on applications? Diane, that's a great question. Many people have made a mistake or two on job applications. The two biggest errors that come to mind are not knowing the salary range of the job that you are applying for. Don't put a rate that is too low or too high. And the second is, don't leave any box blanks, especially on previous employers or any other details. Blank answers could cause your application to be eliminated.
And then we also had Patricia from Nevada ask, what can be done about illegal questions when job seeking? For the application, consider the intent and decide your comfort level. Whether it be an application or during an interview, remember that you are not legally required to answer questions about protected characteristics such as race, religion, sex, age, national origin, or disability. In the interview, if you are uncomfortable, you can politely decline, stating that you prefer to focus on your qualifications or that question is not relevant to the position. Stay calm and professional. Regardless of how you choose to respond, maintain a professional demeanor and don't be afraid to walk away. If you feel extremely uncomfortable or sense a discriminatory environment, you have the right to not fill out that application. And if the company makes you feel that way during the application process, ask yourself, is this really a company that I would want to work for?
Denise, thanks, Sandy. Denise from New Jersey asked, when most of your work history is outdated because you haven't worked in a long time, should you still include it? Denise, this is a common question that we help our clients with. If your past experience is older than 10 years, but directly relates to the job you're applying for, you can include it on your resume under a section like additional experience. Just omit the dates. Also, don't limit yourself to paid jobs. Things like volunteerism, internships, community involvement, and mentoring can also show valuable skills. Thank you for your question, and we wish you all the best on landing a job that's a good match for you.
Please remember, if you receive SSD or SSI disability and are not a current client and want to find out if MEO can help you with our free services, you can visit our website at myemploymentoptions.com and click Apply Now to submit your application. If you already are a client of MEO and have questions about the webinar, please reach out to your assigned MEO job counselor. Well, this concludes our webinar for today. Boy, that went quick. Please watch for our follow-up email in about a week that will have this presentation and recording attached.
Thank you to Sandy and everyone who took time to join us today and the whole crew who helped putting this together. We hope you found this information helpful and wish you much success on your applications and look forward to hearing from you soon.
We all hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.